FIBA Women's AmeriCup live from San Juan, Puerto Rico. The final day, final game of match day 3. Canada taking on the host Puerto Rico. There you see the scores on the screen from today's action. USA, Dominican Republic losing to Cuba by 3. Just saw Argentina defeating Paraguay by 20. Now we'll take a look at Canada and Puerto Rico in a Group A matchup. Canada's 2-0. Puerto Rico got their first win on match day 1. They were resting yesterday. Over in Group B, Team USA topping the group 2-0. Brazil 2-0. They're resting today. Carlin Gay alongside Natalia Melendez. We're going to set to meet Team Canada. Canada has played 2 games so far. They've looked impressive in both, specifically Kayla Alexander.
Yes, they have a very complete team, dominant players in all positions. This is a disciplined team, very smart, solid in both ends, hybrid players, interchangeable players. They have too many choices in offense, and their inside game is just crazy, really good.
Defeated Cuba 87-51 on yesterday, and in their first game, 109-53 win over Mexico. Lisa Tomaitis furthest away from the screen there as her team rolling. This is a big one, though. They need to get this one against the hosts, Puerto Rico. We expected a little bit more of a home crowd for Puerto Rico, but of course, the storm on its way. They're hoping it is on its way on the court as well for this Puerto Rican team that played on Sunday night. They had the rest yesterday. They got the big win over Colombia. And here is the 12 that you know very well.
Some of the players for the Puerto Rican, there's Ali Gibson. This is a very defensive team. They enjoy the fast break game, explosive guards with Pamela and that one right there, Chali Salaman. Good outside shooters. So they know each other very well. It's a team that's been together for a while.
Salaman, of course, the heart and soul of the team. A lot of energy coming off the bench. In game 1, they won 80-55. Pagan played well as well. You see her with a little shake as she's introduced to the crowd.
That's the captain.
And Rosario, captain. There is the coaching staff for Puerto Rico, led by Coach Batista. We'll break now and listen to the national anthems for these 2 great nations. First from Canada, and then from Puerto Rico.
We start with the national anthem of Canada. Y ahora, el himno nacional de Puerto Rico.
two national anthems familiar to you and I, my friend.
We are competing here in the table too.
Canada and Puerto Rico meeting at center court, exchanging some gifts. They'll give us an opportunity to meet our three officials, led by the crew chief, Amy Bonner. Vito Flores from Argentina and Paraguay flank her. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at Team Canada, 2-0 so far at this tournament. Done it in grand fashion, but this is going to be their toughest test so far against Puerto Rico. What do you expect out of the Canadians?
Alexander have been amazing in this tournament. She's been owning the boards here in Puerto Rico. Of course, Raincock is not too way behind. She's unguardable. Amazing player in both ends. Carlton Hill, Scott, the energy they bring to the game is something we must talk about. This team have played 2 games so far, but they are, you know, they are so deep that the player that have played the most minutes only played 23 minutes. It's a long team, so.
Here's the starting lineup. Carlton, Raincock, Akunwe, Langlois, Scott, and you mentioned Kayla Alexander, who's been terrific. 2 double-doubles in her first 2 games. She's going to look to keep that rolling tonight against the hosts.
That high-low game between Alexander and whoever it's playing, the 3 or the 4, just being unstoppable. Really effective.
Puerto Rico's going to try and stop that. They have some size on their side as well. Here's the 12 that you know very well, led by Coach Batista.
Chali and Pamela, the captain of the team, will be receiving a lot of pressure today. So from taller players, so they need to take good care of the ball. Ashley and Taira will be very important. They will be guarding much taller players, so on box out is the most. Jennifer O'Neill, Taira Melendez, Pamela Rosado, Jasmine Guatney, e Isalis Quiñones. It's important that Puerto Rico today make those long shots. Jasmine Guatney needs to be huge today as well as Jennifer O'Neill, because these 2 players are the Puerto Ricans that play overseas with most experience, that have been in Europe playing, that had some kind of experience in the WNBA. So in moments like this, you expect for them to have a huge game.
Pagan had a big game in match day 1 coming off the bench. She surprised many with 10 points, 3 rebounds in her efforts. You see Team Canada and Kayla Alexander, as I mentioned, already 2 double-doubles so far in this tournament. She's looking good, leading Canada to 2 victories. And it will give us an opportunity to listen in to both coaches' huddles. And Coach Lisa Tomaitis, high fives all around, and there she is on the screen, smiling before the game. That might be the last smile we see from her. When she puts on her game face, it's time to go. Let's listen in. Batista addressing his squad there. Did you pick up anything in that?
Yeah, you got to switch. Let's talk, let's switch. But most important, we got to hit. We got to get physical here.
Canada's played 2 physical games against Cuba. It's a very physical matchup. A lot of fouls called early on. It kept people close to start the first quarter, but then the depth from the Canadians pulled away the rest of the 30 minutes.
When you lack the size, you have to hit. You got to play tough.
Starting lineups being introduced to the home crowd here. And ready to go. And JJ hitting the tambourine at center court. Getting those who have made the trip through the rain here at the Roberto Clemente Coliseum fired up. Puerto Rico, of course, will be in the home white. Canada in the road red. And the crew chief, Amy Bonner, from the United States, will toss it up and get us underway. Quarter number 1, the final game here on match day 3. Canada taking on Puerto Rico. Carlin Gay and Natalia Melendez on the call. Natalia, keep your elbow on your side of the table this time. Hancock Akunwe rolling in for the first two for the Canadians.
We got to put his chair in between us right now.
Important game for both of these teams. Both undefeated. Quinones for three. That fell short. Jamie Scott pulls it down the rebound, and Langlois pushed the other way. And Canada's gotten the open floor. They've looked good. Gail Alexander inside her first two.
From early on, establishing their strong game in the inside with Alexander.
Quick 4-point lead for Canada a minute into the game. Guatmi. Rosado. Quinones waiting for O'Neal. Rosado for three. No good there. Guatmi pulls down a one-handed rebound. Fresh 14 for Puerto Rico. Guatmi for three. That's no good, and Alexander vacuums that in. Alexander driving inside. Tough look. That one bounces out. Look at Scott in the mix with the offensive rebound. Alexander taking that tough pass. And now Scott will tee up a three. Indeed. 7-0 run for Canada and a quick timeout for Coach Batista. Canadians coming out firing early on, and Puerto Rico wants to talk. We'll listen into the huddles from both these teams here in the first timeout. That was the first two of the game by Hancock Akunwe, and then Xander followed it up, and Jamie Scott capped it off with a three-pointer for a 7-0 run for the Canadians. What was set in the huddle for Puerto Rico.
And in those 20 seconds, you could see the amount of the variety of offense that Canada can show. On the other hand, what Jerry Batista is telling them is that they were penetrating, you know, they are working on the paint way too easy. Got to put a body on them. I know they're taller than you, but you got to push.
See if Puerto Rico comes out a little bit more physical in the first 2 minutes in this game. Here's Guat. O'Neal. That's a screen from Quinones. O'Neal will tee up a three. That's no good, and one and done again for Puerto Rico. Langlois looking to penetrate. She gets stripped down low by O'Neal. Will stay on this end as Quinones took a tough fall into the signage. 16 on the shot clock for Canada. There's a replay of that strip by O'Neal. That could have been dangerous. Scott on the inbound, pulls up.
Nice.
That's 2 shots in a row for Jamie Scott. Nothing lead for Canada. Neal. Quinones hands off to O'Neal. She's looking to shake Scott, pulls up, left it short. Another one and done trip for Puerto Rico. Carlton driving in on Melendez. Good job of her cutting off. Inside Alexander. Quinones got a piece of it. And there's the first defensive stop. An important moment for Puerto Rico there. Melendez. Rosado. Use the Quinones screen. Guatmi. Inside, Quinones wants to go to work in the post on Alexander. Good move by her.
It was a great move by Isalis Quinones. She worked very good on Alexander. Puerto Rico have been taking good shots. They've been open. They just haven't been able to make them.
It's a good pass by Langlois, who saw the streaking Hancock Akunwe down the lane. That's a foul. She'll go to the line for 2.
Nice.
Quinones picks up her first foul as we see her with her first basket on that replay. Sammy Hill checks into the game. Lisa Tomaitis not afraid to go to her bench early and deep as well.
Yep. This player Hill, she's one of the best defensive players I've seen in this tournament. They on 22.
Sato pulls up in a lane in front of Alexander and gets it to drop. And Kakakunwe driving in. Melendez, offensive foul on Rin Kakakunwe. Good job by Melendez moving her feet.
Yeah, she slide on defense very well.
Four to start. Here's Rosado. Watney pulls up for two. It's too long, and look at Hill skying above everybody to pull down the rebound. Carlton uses the Alexander screen. Alexander spinning inside as Melendez fell to the deck that time. So tough in the post. Scale Alexander,
I cannot mention one thing that this girl do wrong. She just dominate everything she does. Perfect post moves.
Ruth Hamblin and Miranda Am will check into the game for Canada. Allow Rin Kakakunwe and Alexander to take a rest. Sato. Foul line jump shot not there. Offensive rebound by Melendez. Watney gets a screen from the smaller O'Neal. Now she has a smaller Hill on her. 5 to shoot. Sato. Open is Quinones for three. It's way off. Ngoche will check into the game now, replacing Scott. And Salaman coming into the game for Puerto Rico, number 12 in white. When she steps onto the floor, she brings the energy. Her and Sammy Hill is going to be a great battle, isn't it?
I think so.
Carlton with a good job catching that ball. Now we'll drive baseline, a foul on Guatney on the floor.
This will be an interesting match too between Guatney and Carlton.
Guatney used to play in the WNBA for the San Antonio franchise.
And then in Spain.
Hamblin inside, good move. She's fouled, she'll go to the line for two. How much Melendez could do about that one.
She came from the opposite side, but yeah, it's impossible. Once she receives, it's impossible.
Hamblin knocks down the first free throw. As Coach Tomaitis looks on. With Hamblin in 2 games is averaging 5.5 points, 3 rebounds coming off the bench. And about 12 minutes a game. She misses the second of 2 free throws. 10-point lead for Canada halfway through the first quarter. Jennifer O'Neal, sharpshooter, pulls up. She's fouled. They count it. And she'll go to the line for one more.
We spoke in the last game about how good Jennifer O'Neal managed that mid-range shot. It's her favorite, it's her signature move. There we see the repetition. It's a hard shot.
Sammy Hill late on the closeout. And O'Neal looked to make her pay with a 3-point opportunity. O'Neal had 6 points, 5 assists in the first game of the tournament for Puerto Rico in their win against Cuba.
Puerto Rico's present.
First time we've seen that. And they're able to break that without a problem. And now still Hill will run some offense. O'Neal got a hand to it. 12 on the shot clock for Canada to work with. Gaucher will trigger this inbound as referee is making sure Salaman is tucked in and ready to go. Also wipe up a web spot down on the baseline. Got to make sure that hashtag is clean.
10 players from Canada already step on the court, and 8 players from Puerto Rico already step on the court. I think both coaches know that this game is going to be intense.
Hill driving down the lane. Didn't finish. Guatmi clamps down that rebound. Allie Gibson for 3. No good there, and Gaucher pulls it down. Lee Edwards kicks it out to Hill. Hill, deep 3. Got it. Back to a 10-point lead for the Canadians. Salaman waits for the screen for Pagan. Pagan at the foul line. That's a good sign for her, picking up right where she left off against Cuba, knocking down the foul line extended jump shot.
Yep.
Some defense now coming in from the home crowd that have made the trip here. Ruth Hamlin travel. Is that last pick and roll play here by Salaman and Pagan? Pagan came up with 10 big points. Plucked down 3 rebounds off the bench. Here she is shooting from 3-point range on your screen. Puerto Rico 0 for 6, but that will change as the night goes on. Step back jump shot for Guatmi. She can't get it to go, and Scott, who just checked back into the game, pulls down the rebound. Hill, Miranda Aim for 3. No good there. Hill will chase down the rebound. Inside to Alexander, and the foul. Hustle by Sammy Hill, and a great cut by Alexander coming down the lane. Guatmi picks up her 2nd foul. They have to be careful now with 3:10 remaining in the first quarter. They can't afford to have her on the bench. Gibson. Inside to Guatmi, the double comes. Canada in a 2-3 zone. O'Neal for 3. No good there, and Scott pulls down the rebound, and she looks to run. Here's Scott. Tried to fire it inside to AM. Stolen by Pagan. Jennifer O'Neal now on the bounce. O'Neal right to the rim. Kicks it out. Gibson from the corner for 3. No good. Flat-footed rebound there for Alexander. One and done again for Puerto Rico. Langlois and Rankaka-Kunwe waiting to check back into the game at the next whistle. There's Sammy Hill. It's the handoff from Alexander. Edwards for 2. As the shot clock was winding down, it rolls in and out, and then goes out of bounds. They'll stay here, 14 on the shot clock for Canada. Liam and Hill will sit. You see the 2 new faces for Canada. And Rosado will check back into the game for Puerto Rico. Guatmi will sit. So Puerto Rico going a little bigger than normal.
Yes.
Maldonado went to the floor for the first time for Puerto Rico, 3 and white. Scott in the lane. Got it to go.
Big to small, great move, great ball movement.
Scott trailing on O'Neal. O'Neal. Sato. Pagan sets the screen. Langlois got a hand to it, pokes it ahead. She has Alexander with her, flips it up, and Gibson with the good hustle to get back defensively.
It was turnover, but they did hustle to try to get it back.
Here's the replay. One thing Puerto Rico can't afford to do in this game is
Turnovers.
turn the ball over. That's already number 3 here in the first quarter. So you saw that last bucket there by Scott. Leah Edwards checking out of the game. And Bridget Carlton checks back in. Kunwe led Carlton a little too far. That goes out of bounds.
Try to do a backdoor. It was too hard.
Minute 30 to play here in the first period. 22-9 in favor of Canada over Puerto Rico, the host team, and another turnover there. A miscommunication between Quinones and Gibson. That goes out of bounds.
Their 4th.
Yeah. Getting to pile up now. Carlton with Maldonado on her. Scott. Carlton from the corner for 3. In and out. And O'Neal was held by Scott. Will go the other way. It's only the 3rd team foul for Canada.
This is a team that both the point guards, the guards from both teams goes to the rebound. So it's very nice to see how when one person shots, everybody is in the paint looking for that rebound.
Kuzmanik into the game, number 20 in white for the first time this evening. Sato looking to dance a little bit. This is Kuzmanik for 3. Left it short, and Scott plucks it out of the air. Canada with a chance to go 2 for 1 here. Langlois with Rosado all over her. Alexander sets the screen and try and give Langlois some space. Rain-Kaka-Kunwe was inside, a foul before the shot. Doesn't matter because Puerto Rico is now in the penalty, and Rain-Kaka-Kunwe will go to the line for 2 shots. It's the first foul on Maldonado, who tried to foul before the shot. I don't think she realized that they didn't have a foul to give. Rain-Kaka-Kunwe knocks down the first free throw. Teammate of Kia Nurse, of course, in the WNBA with the New York Liberty. She's played well in this tournament so far. Sammy Hill back into the game for Canada. And she'll extend the pressure full court. Puerto Rico has a chance to hold for the last shot. Half a second difference between shot and game clock. Double there by Rain-Kaka-Kunwe, forcing O'Neal to go all the way to half court. Sato from the corner knocks down the triple.
She had 5.
And with a chance to get a shot at the rim, 3 to shoot. Scott puts it up at the buzzer. Just missed it. And that's how we'll end the first period. 24-12 is the score in favor of Canada after 1. Reminder, you can follow FIBA on all social media platforms at FIBA. Join us on the conversation. Hashtag AmeriCup Women. There are the stats from the first quarter. Canada up by a dozen, and here are some of the highlights from that first period. What did you like from Canada after the first 10.
I like their amazing job at defense. They are playing really hard, full court, putting pressures on the guards, making the Puerto Rican offense very hard. On the other hand, as we've seen of this team, a variety of offensive, everything starts from the inside out, working especially with Alexander, who already have 7 points and 2 rebounds. The moving of the ball, it's been excellent as well. On the other hand, Puerto Rico, it's depending a little bit too much of that pick and roll with Jennifer Pamela at the end with that 3. She's the best scorer for Puerto Rico with 5 points. And they have some open shots. They just have not been able to score. They need to lower those turnovers because at the end of the day, that's going to cost them. But I think at the moment, it's been a beautiful game, very intensive, very intense in both ends.
Certainly has been so intense that there was an earthquake, apparently, and we didn't even feel it.
No, we didn't feel it because, the emotion of the game. But I have somebody right next to me that said that he's sleeping out tonight.
There was also an earthquake last night. I don't know if you felt it. I felt it. I texted
bad.
you right away as soon as it happened.
I'm from here. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I'm planning to sleep outside as well. We're used to hurricanes and everything, but we're not used to earthquake. Funny, but not funny.
No, not funny at all when you're a part of it. Second quarter underway. Canada and Puerto Rico. Canada up 12. Here you see the 5 on the floor for Puerto Rico. Sammy Hill with the hustle there, trying to save that last ball. 14 on the shot clock for Puerto Rico to work with. Puerto Rico only 1 from 10 3-point range. Something that won't stay that way as they continue to shoot here throughout the game. Now 1 for 11 as O'Neal's 3 not good. There's the 5 on the floor for Canada. Hancock Akunwe getting deep post position, and she'll go to the line for 2 shots.
That will be the second foul on Taira Melendez. It's very important for Puerto Rico to have Taira on the court. So it's a good thing that Canada keep insisting on Alexander inside when she's guarding her. I'm sorry, Hancock. This time is Hancock.
She missed the first free throw there. Second free throw up and good. Now 13-point lead. Canada showing a little pressure. That's broken by Rosado. Brought me back into the game. Diving in. Nice move.
Her first 2.
Calls for her to step up. She has a lot of experience at the pro level, both in the WNBA and Spain. She's going to be counted on to score and keep Puerto Rico within striking distance here. O'Neal trying to shake Scott. O'Neal pulls up. That's a 2. No good there, and Carlton pulls down that rebound. Scott uses the Alexander screen, trying to turn the corner, and a travel is called. Good defense there by Rosado.
Beautiful defense by Pamela.
Now Gibson checks back in for Jennifer O'Neal. Here's a replay. As Rosado got her hand on the ball and forced it well. Getting the update that it was a 5.0
34 miles north.
Earthquake that just happened. Yesterday was 6.3.
That was a big one.
Melendez from the corner for 3. Can't hit. Quinones with the offensive rebound. Now Gibson driving down the lane. That leads to a Canada timeout. Allie Gibson with her first 2 as this crowd fired up. 25-16 to score here early in the second quarter.
Puerto Rico, Argentina dominó a Paraguay.
soccer player, ¿ok? Ojalá que trabaje. Tienes que seguir atacando a Pamela, ¿ok? Y entonces cuando pase mitad estamos en 21. Machea con la jugadora y bola en la bola. ¿Okay?
Doblito floor.
Vamos.
There's Jasmine Guatney diving in on a nice drive, and then again, Allie Gibson with her first two of the night. Heard the first part of that huddle from Puerto Rico. Obviously, they're going man-to-man, and they want to stay down on the pump fakes.
He's saying he wants Pamela to keep attacking the guards. Say, attack them. Don't be afraid of them. Attack them. They're good guards, but attack them. They're the soul of the team.
It's a defense now coming in from those who have made the trip. Kapakunwe. Alexander Langlois back into the game. Gibson on the ground, and she's fouled by Langlois. Great hustle by Allie Gibson.
Puerto Rico putting a lot of pressure on defense, especially in the guards.
Expected a physical game. So far, we've seen that. Melendez. Guatney. Sato. 10 on the shot clock. Quinones sets the screen for her. Melendez shows she traveled. Set with herself. Probably should have took the shot when it was there. Pagan will check in for Quinones. Miranda Ian back into the game for Canada, number 9 in red.
Not setting the pick for Pamela, cost her the bench. Because Pamela was asking for the pick, and she stood on the post, never went up.
Jerry Batista with the quick hook there. You see the field goal percentage there on your screen. Scott trying to continue the hot shooting for Canada. That's a 3. To a 12-point lead. 10 points now and counting for Jamie Scott. Gibson. Sato for 3. Answers.
She's a streaky player.
Right now she's on a hot streak. Gibson with a steal and saves it. Sato splits the D, gets to the floor, and Carlton steals it away from her. Scott calling for the ball. You can see her at the bottom of the screen. Takes a little while to get to her. She'll finally get it on the handoff. Carlton, Langlois. Scott left alone. Just tripped up by Rosado. That's Rosado's first foul. And the second team foul for Puerto Rico. Fresh faces in the game on both sides. Sammy Hill, Kim Gaucher, Aaliyah Edwards for Canada, Maldonado and Salaman on the floor now for Puerto Rico. 14 to shoot for Canada after that foul. Edwards and Gibson in the chat. Referee's making sure it's nothing more than that. Back to man-to-man or woman-to-woman defense here for Puerto Rico after showing the zone. And Kakakunwe driving inside. Pagan stepped up nicely there. 1 to shoot. Gaucher got it off in time, got her own, and a fresh 14. She falls to the floor. Salaman now ahead of everybody with Maldonado. Good catch. Threw it up at the rim. Can't get the finish, and Aaliyah Edwards will gallop the other way. Driving inside, Edwards. Tough shot. Good defense there by Guatney. Salaman. Guatney, that's a 3. No good there. Gaucher is fouled by Maldonado. It's a tough call for Maldonado.
Yeah, he was.
That's her second foul. You see J.K. Alexander back into the game for Canada. Sammy Hill will get things going offensively. Aaron Salaman, what a fun matchup. Two backup point guards love to play at high speed. Hill fires it inside. Alexander was too hot for her to handle. Plenty of time for Canada to work with. AM was fouled on the floor before the shot. It's going to be Puerto Rico's 4th personal foul, or team foul rather.
A little late, but the rotations are getting there.
Pagan picks up her 2nd there. You're right. They're starting to move better defensively. It's a step late right now. Wilson. She'll come off the curl. Alexander looking for a post position inside, and the travel there by Aim. Jennifer O'Neill will check back into the game now for Salaman. O'Neill's 1 for 7 from the field. Let's see if she can get going here halfway through this 2nd quarter. Guatney uses the Pagan screen. Maldonado open for 3. Left it short, and Alexander follows up a rebound. AM waiting for Gauthier. AM feeds it inside. Alexander's fouled before the shot. That is the 15th foul, so Canada will head to the line the rest of the way here in the first half.
Another great post by Alexander. She left Pagan behind. She asked for the ball. She knows she's taller, longer arms. So give me the ball. I'm going to attack this one.
Going into this game, Kayla Alexander shooting 83% from the foul line. She's now 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Make it 3 for 3. 9 points, team high. On the floor anyway for Alexander. Scott has 10 for Canada. The defense there by Gauthier. And then throws it away behind Sammy Hill. Stay here. 14 on the shot clock for Puerto Rico to work with. Melendez comes back into the game. So does Rosado. And Quinones, who we haven't seen in a little while, back onto the floor. Rosado. Open is Quinones for 3. She's going to have to hit those. She's going to get that open look.
Yeah, she's comfortable shooting from there. She's a good shooter, but Puerto Rico, it's doing terrible from the three-point line. 2 of 16.
That will change going forward. It won't stay that way the entire game. Jen O'Neill picks up the foul as Celia Edwards tried to sweep through. And Edwards will go to the line for her first 2 free throw attempts tonight. Gauthier swapping out for Bridget Carlton. Player on the team for Team Canada, 17 years old, is Aaliyah Edwards. Getting a lot of attention from NCAA schools down south. South of Canada anyway, not south of here.
I wonder where she's going to go.
Many people do as well. Foul away from the ball. Quinones took a tough hit there. Second team foul on Canada. Alexander's on the replay. Aaliyah Edwards was going to pick it up. She may be the youngest player on the team, but she is tough as nails.
She is tough.
Live action, that shot no good. And Carlton pulls it down. Look at her in the open floor. Carlton right to the tin. Thought she got hit. No foul coming. Melendez in front of everybody. And had that ball smash off the signage and hit her in the face. She'll take a minute there to collect herself. She's a tough cookie. She'll stay in the game. Look out. Oof.
Oh, it was the ball that hit her back. Oh, thanks God it was the ball, not the
not the signage at all.
not the sign.
Saw someone go crashing into the signage yesterday.
Yes, in Mexico.
Edwards inside. Her shot goes wide, and Alexander loses the handle there. Pasado pushing the other way. Guatmi is wide open for two. Timeout Canada. 32-21, 3:20 to play here in the first half. Canada in front. That led to the Guatmi open two. I don't know if you could hear the huddle. I definitely couldn't hear that huddle.
Yeah, I did hear. He said that we're gonna keep playing. Puerto Rico is gonna keep playing woman to woman, and they say we're doing good in defense, but at the end we're reaching. Just stay with her. Don't reach. Don't foul. I like the effort, but stop doing that.
Pressure shown now by Puerto Rico. They'll look to trap Sammy Hill. Alexander presents herself at center, then turns it over right in the hands of O'Neal. Pasado for three. Kunwe, who's back into the game alongside Scott. Carlton double team. She dribbles it out. Scott now. Want to post Alexander. That's a tough catch for her to make. She does make it and finishes the play. Kayla Alexander. Sometimes the ball just finds her.
Just find her. She have 11.
Guatmi, watched by Kunwe. Guatmi in the mid-post. O'Neal, step back over Hill. That's short. She's struggling from the field at the moment. Sammy Hill. Finding Alexander inside on Quinones. Can't get it to go. Melendez with a good box out on Kunwe, and Puerto Rico with a chance to run. Guatmi tees up a three. Can't get it to go. Alexander with the rebound, and Scott will push quickly. Pace speeding up here. Closing minutes of the first half. It's Carlton trying to shake free. Kunwe, good defense by Melendez, and she traveled. Since picking up that second foul, Melendez has done a better job of staying on her feet and not reaching in. And that time, forcing Kunwe on the travel. That's already the 13th turnover, 12th turnover rather, for Canada. Pasado. Pagan, who's back into the game for Puerto Rico. Jennifer O'Neill, another shot. She's going to keep shooting. Here's Hamlin, vacuums that in. Sammy Hill wants to slow it down. Hamlin at the foul line. Looking for an outlet. She finds Sammy Hill. Carlton facing up on O'Neill. Now drive baseline. Good defense there by O'Neill. As Carlton's call for the travel. There's either going to be a charge or a travel. If you're Canada, you'd rather that.
O'Neill played it well too.
Travel. She absolutely did.
She did very good.
Here's the replay.
A little shoulder there.
Big disparity in the free throw attempts in favor of Canada at the moment. Sato, the floater, no good. Hamlin vacuums it in, and here comes Scott the other way. Gibson had her hands on Scott. Two college teammates there.
First quarter finished 24-12, but this one is only 9-10. Both teams are struggling to score.
See if Scott can change that from the free throw line. She was hot in the first quarter. Knocks down the first free throw there. Points, team high for Jamie Scott. She's also added 5 rebounds. You mentioned 2 days ago, Canada does a good job rebounding from the guard position. Neal comes away with the steal as Neal was trying to cross her over. And O'Neill now comes away with the steal the other way. Almost lost the ball. Scott fouls her and she'll go to the line for 2.
That would be Canada's 13th turnover. That's a lot, unlike them.
Something that Coach Tomaitis will definitely address at halftime. We're 11 seconds away from that. Maldonado back into the game. Pagan will sit. And for the first time, we'll see Canelles come into the game.
The rookie.
For O'Neill if she does hit this free throw. Canales will have to wait to make her debut in this game. Canada can hold for the last shot here. Hill. Holds up for 2. Off the back iron. Carlton won't get a next opportunity. And that's how we will end the first half. 36-22. Canada up at the half. Well, as Canada jogs off, turnovers, you just said it, something that we'll definitely address heading into the locker room. But on the other end, Puerto Rico has had some missed opportunities, a poor shooting night from them so far. We'll take a look at the scoring breakdown by quarter. The big first quarter by Canada is the reason why they have the lead heading into the locker room.
And then they only have 12 points. I think it was a very defensive second quarter for both teams. Percentages, Puerto Rico shooting 37%, only 11% from the three-point line. The first game, Puerto Rico was very effective from the three-point line. It's a team that likes to shoot from there. The rebounds, there's a big difference. 15 rebounds, 28 for Canada, 13 for Puerto Rico. Assists, more for Canada, and turnovers, 14. Like I said, unlike them, only 7 for Puerto Rico. But Puerto Rico had many, had 5 in the first quarter, so they took care of the ball on that second quarter. Canada, it's been all Alexander and Scott in this first half. 11 for Alexander, 10 for Scott. I think they're doing a pretty good job on defense, but sometimes, they're leaving Pamela open. That's something they cannot keep doing. And in the other hand, Puerto Rico, I think they're doing good. Leaving a Canada team on 36 points, that's a pretty good job. They just need to better their average. They need to start hitting those shots because they've been open shots. Jasmine is taking open shots. Ashley Gibson is taking open shots. So we'll see if in this second half they have better luck when it comes to percentage.
We'll leave you with the first half highlights. 36-22 is your score. Canada in front of host Puerto Rico here at FIBA AmeriCup 2019.
alguna noche divertida, recuerda que te traigo el Hotel Esperanza en Isla el hogar de nuestra selección nacional femenina y estamos localizados a solo pasos de la playa.
Castro for three. And a foul! Big time shot. Palacio picks up the rebound. Martinez all the way. What a pass! Oh, and the foul! That was spectacular. Langlois. Bench counting down for her. Good ball behind the back. Step back. That was pretty.
That was close to me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Barbara probing, blocked inside. The Sousa says no. Zach picked up her dribble, looked for Morton inside. She's spinning. Oh, what a pass! And Reynoso with the finish. Gorgeous look away feed by Morton.
En este momento México se encuentra con 0 y 2, Canadá con 2 y 0, Paraguay 0 y 3, Estados Unidos que tiene récord de 2 y 0, al igual que Brasil, Colombia, una victoria, 2 derrotas, Cuba 1 y 2, una victoria, 2 derrotas, República Dominicana 1 y 1, Argentina 1 y 1, Puerto Rico una victoria con 0 derrotas, así que gracias a los fanáticos que nos apoyan. En esta segunda parte del calentamiento es de ustedes, gracias a NAI, la marca oficial de FIBA AmeriCup 2019. This second round is presented by NAI, the official sponsor of FIBA.
para acá, hazle esto. Y ahí vuelve y la coge. Luego doble cortina para el lado contrario y te sigue moviendo con calma. ¿Ok? So, wait a little. ¿Ok? Coge la cortina para que ella se vuelva a ver si switchean. Si switchean, automáticamente te fuiste. ¿Ok? Y después te siguen moviendo. Es una alternativa. What we do, I'm not saying to her like, they swing, he goes, and now you take.
Both coaches addressing their team after halftime, getting set for the start of the second half. Canada up 36-22 over hosts Puerto Rico. Carlin Gay alongside Natalia Melendez. Game that we expected Canada to play, but Puerto Rico hasn't been able to hit jump shots. That's the reason for the deficit.
Puerto Rico needs to be aware that these, most of the teams always shows problems in the third quarter. Canada is one of the few teams that once they came out, starting in the third quarter, which is a very difficult thing to do, they do all of the adjustments very well. So they are going to come out focused, and they're going to come out really, really, really strong from early on again, trying to establish the game inside and playing defense. So Puerto Rico needs to move the ball in offense, but they also need to try to avoid to the ball to get to Alexander and to Raincock too easy on the paint. They got to keep hitting. They got to keep playing hard on defense.
Crew Chief Amy Bonner will hand the ball over to Bridget Carlton, and here we go. Second half rather. Carlin Gay alongside Natalia Melendez. Canada taking on Puerto Rico. 36-22. The score here at the FIBA Women's AmeriCup. Both teams undefeated so far. Canada 2-0. Puerto Rico 1-0. And Kakunwe starting the second half the same way she started the game with the first two for Canada. Something to keep an eye on. There is a small leak in the roof here with the amount of rain that just started. Two leaks. They're trying to take care of that. Hopefully it doesn't affect the game too much. It isn't on the actual court. It's on the baseline, and after every whistle, they're going to wipe up underneath Puerto Rico's basket.
This used to be a perfect game until after Maria. They're just trying to fix everything, But there's a leak.
It's underneath that beautiful Puerto Rican flag over their basket at the moment. See it a little bit wet, and that will happen throughout the second half. Sato. Offensive foul called on Jasmine, 24. That's her third foul. Here's Scott.
Nice.
Fading away, she was fouled on her arm. There was a late whistle, but the correct call. Jennifer O'Neill with the hack. It's O'Neill's second team foul already now for Puerto Rico.
Scott's perfect from the free throw line, 2 of 2.
See what you're trying to do there. Didn't work this time.
I think I'm going to leave the stats to you. But I'm going to give you a break with something.
14 points and counting for Scott. Team high. Can add 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 for her in this game. Langlois guarding Rosado. Another foul away from the basketball. Guatme was being held, and sarcastic cheer from the crowd here. Feeling that Puerto Rico finally gets a whistle. Rain Kakakune picks up her second. Quinones. O'Neal. Guatney. Good drive by Guatney. She'll go to the line for two as Bridget Carlton was called for the block.
A little late. Her body wasn't straight, but it was a good intention of her. She saw she was coming, so.
Called it on Rain-Cock-A-Kunwe before it got to the Bridget Carlton block underneath. Miranda Am checks into the game. That's Rain-Cock-A-Kunwe's third foul. And Guatney misses the first free throw. Jerry Batista pacing the sideline. He was nervous coming into this one. This was the big game in Group A. Still plenty of time left in this one. We've seen Puerto Rico explode in quarters before. Pressure shown now by the host nation. Scott, watched by O'Neal. O'Neal's gonna have to be careful. She's playing with 2 fouls already. Doesn't want to pick up that third. Langlois spinning in the lane. Ayum, her shot, no good. Well, look at Scott grab an offensive rebound in fresh 14 for Canada. Ayum pulls up at the foul line, left that short. And Jennifer O'Neal now dribbles the other way for Puerto Rico. Guatney wants it in the post on Langlois. And give it inside to her. Langlois got her hand right on the ball and stripped it away. Scott using the Alexander screen. Scott will pull for 3. Indeed. Jamie Scott with 17 big points.
She's unstoppable today, and she also has 7 rebounds.
20-point lead now for Canada. Osado can't get it to go. Right now, Canada looking to extend the 7-1 run that they're on. Carlton waits for an AM screen. Here's Alexander. Scott shows and goes in the lane. Ripped out of her hands by Guatney. Rosado, O'Neal. Lets AM fly by, and that's the first easy 2 that Jennifer O'Neal has had. Let's see if that gets her going. She is 6 now.
That was a good fast break. Good pass for Pamela.
Aim for 3, left it short. Maldonado pulls down the flat-footed rebound, and Scott's going to pick up the foul, trying to steal it away from Maldonado. So third foul for Jamie Scott as we take a look at that last fast break opportunity. Sammy Hill checks in to the game for Canada. Lee Edwards will also come into the game, replacing Jamie Scott. Salaman into the game for Puerto Rico. And Pagan as well. Allie Gibson. Watched by Carlton. Guatney. Diving inside, as slapped out of bounds by Aim. Sportsmanship there by Leah Edwards, helping up Jasmine Guatney. Took a look at Maldonado, and here's the replay from that last play. 9 on the clock for Puerto Rico to work with. Salaman. Looking for a screen from Pagan, she gets it. Corner is Allie Gibson for 3, left it short. Am tracks that rebound down. Hill inside to Alexander. The double comes immediately, but a little too aggressively as Maldonado's foul. Picks up the foul, rather.
Good pass by Hill. She was open.
It's a 13 foul here in the quarter for Puerto Rico. They're starting to pile up on both sides. Good initial defense there by Pagan. The second defender committing the foul there. Another foul before the ball's even inbounded. That's the 4th team foul. And quickly, Maldonado picks up 4 personal fouls. She'll have to sit. Kuzmatic will come in to replace her. And Melendez will come back into the game as well. Ayam pulls for 2, got it.
The first 2 of the game.
Shot was flat before that. That one, perfect arc. Salaman was looking for the cutting Gibson. An offensive foul called on Aaliyah Edwards, as Salaman did a good job of moving her feet and getting in the path. Here's the replay. Two fouls on Edwards, 20-point game. Puerto Rico looking to chip away at this lead now. See the turnovers beginning to pile up for the Canadians. Struggle with that in the first half. Alexander slaps that ball away. Pagan was trying to sweep across the lane. 3 to shoot for the home team. Edwards got her hand on the inbound pass and a turnover there. Sammy Hill. Carlton, nice
Beautiful.
cut there by Ayam. And it leads to a timeout for Jerry Batista's bunch. 22-point lead for the Canadians, 5:19 to play here in the 3rd period. Saw quickly on the screen there, Canada with now 15 assists in the game. They're averaging 25 here at FIBA AmeriCup. Last assist by Bridget Carlton and Miranda Ayam, who has now gotten to score, shoot 4 points for her. A steal, but was set in that huddle for Puerto Rico.
He just want the offense to get open. He said, you guys are too together. You need spacing.
See how that spacing does against this zone. Gibson, Salaman. Canada really packing it in. Salaman will launch the 3, no good there. And Edwards had that squirt out of her hands. It'll stay here with 23, or 14 on the shot clock rather, for Puerto Rico.
This 3rd quarter, Puerto Rico's only been able to score 3 points.
Pagan, one dribble and got caught in a dead area of the floor. Sammy Hill pokes it out of bounds. 10 on the shot clock for Puerto Rico.
I don't know what it is that Canada always do in the locker room on the halftime, but I want to know. I want to know that secret.
They do come out defensively and really starting to tighten it up. Salaman had everything but the finish there. She'll go to the line for 2 shots. Now we'll see Canales coming into the game. She missed her opportunity when Jennifer O'Neill missed her free throw. Canales makes her debut tonight. Guatmi comes back in. And Aroma, for the first time, will come in for Puerto Rico. So Coach Batista going deep into his bench now. Salomon misses the first free throw. Rosado comes back into the game for Puerto Rico. Some pressure being shown now for Puerto Rico. See how Canada responds. Edwards down the lane. Takes the contact and finishes. Aaliyah Edwards.
Basketball 101, that's how you break a press in the air.
Did it with ease. The ball movement by the Canadians there. Watney and Edwards walking up here. Rosado. Baseline, Canellis. Now Rosado, 3 to shoot. Watney's gonna have to put it up, she does. Off the mark, shot clock violation. There really was no advantage there for Canada offensively, so they blew the whistle. Coach Jerry asking for a foul there. Maybe Scott will check into the game. Then you see Bridget Carleton leaving. Hill and Scott in the backcourt together. We haven't seen this tonight. Sato has her hands full with Hill at the moment. Williams sets the screen for her. Williams is open. She uses the up fake, spinning in the lane, and she traveled. Good defense there by Roma, staying down on the up fake. See the balance of young and old on the floor for Canada at the moment. Youngest player on the floor, Lee Edwards. And 2 vets, and Dolce and AM on the floor for Canada. Canellis blowing right by Scott.
Her first 2 points ever with the senior national team.
Good drive to get it. Edwards showed the up fake, but she traveled. Again, Roma on the closeout, and that gets the crowd fired up a little bit here in San Juan. Here's Canellis. She'll relive this moment. That left-hand layup. She'll lock that away, file that away. First points, as he said, senior national level. And another foul for Edwards as Guatney looking to attack. And Puerto Rico now getting some momentum. Edwards picks up her 3rd. Wami misses the free throw. What was your first points like playing for Puerto Rico? Do you remember them?
I was 14, and it was in Dominican Republic. No, it was here, Centroamericanos. And everybody, you're so nervous because everybody wants you to make that basket. That makes you even nervous. You know, it's better when everybody just ignore that you're there.
Canellis is fired up. It's a little too aggressive. Ball goes out of bounds. It wasn't a foul call there. Oh, no. Actually, it is a foul call on Canellis. Thought it was out of bounds, but Amy Bonner says foul. It was absolutely a foul. And Scott will toe the line for free throws. Canada has won the last 2 AmeriCups. Trying to make it 3 in a row here. One of the favorites in this tournament. Looking good so far. Bridget Carleton comes back into the game. Placing Kim Dolce. 19 points for Scott. Game high. There's Allie Gibson. Hard drive right to the hole.
She had 4.
Both of them came on moves just like that. Gets the crowd back into the game. Hill. Behind the back dribble, tried to split the D. It's poked out of her hands. Stay on this end with 8 to shoot. 2:34 to play in the third quarter. Puerto Rico could get it within 15. That'd be a good sign for them heading into the fourth. As we take a look at that last drive by Gibson. Scott's open at the top of the key. Off the mark there. Rosado, whoa. Push the other way. Rosado right down the lane. Can't get the finish. Romo with a tough rebound. Fresh 14 for Puerto Rico. Gibson now looking for help. 3 on the way. Guatney knocks it down. And she's fired up. Leads to a Canada timeout. Jasmine Guatney, 12 points and counting. Her team fired up. 51-34, late third quarter. Ever since this layup by Canales. Puerto Rico now with the momentum. You heard Lisa Tomaitis talking about getting beat off the bounce. See some of that here in this highlight package. Capped off by a three-pointer by Jasmine Guat.
She's been struggling with her percentage shooting. That's her first of 4. She's shooting only 30%, but I think it came in a good moment.
Langlois back into the game for Canada, as is Raincock Acuna. Kale Alexander as well. Carlton. Alexander, nice move. Can't get the finish. Raincock Acuna on the offensive rebound. She can't get that to go, and Gibson pushes the other way. Loses the handle to Scott. Scott ahead for Raincock Acuna. Would have had to make a tough catch. Lucky for her, Rosado poked it out of bounds.
Good hustle.
A lot more energy now from the home team. Langlois. Raincock Acuna. Driving inside. Fading away, left it short. Scott had a chance to tap at it. Away we go the other way. Canales. Floater in the lane was blocked by Kayla Alexander. Crowd wanted a foul. So did the Puerto Rico bench. Carlton. Raincock Acuna. Chance of defense now coming in. Langlois trying to silence them. Beautiful. She does with the 3. Big time shot.
I love her game because she always tries to create for everybody else. But when it's time, you know, for her and she has her space, she's effective.
Now Gibson will try to answer with a 3 of her own. Left it on the front of the rim, and Langlois pulls down the rebound. It's Alexander. A foul line jump shot is good. Just like that, 5 quick points for Canada. They've put a stop to the surge from Puerto Rico for the time being. Rosado. Canales, 10 on the shot clock. Canales, step back 3, no good. Carlton with the rebound, now battling to keep it. A foul on Roma. That's not going to make people here happy at all.
I think she kind of traveled a little bit before.
It's a technical foul called as well on Puerto Rico bench. Roma picks up the foul. And Amy Bonner is getting booed right now. She is the least favorite person in the gym. And there was a little bit of a shuffle of the feet by Carlton. Scott at the line with the technical foul shot. She'll hit. And now Carlton will toe the line for 2. Coach Jared Batista still arguing the last call despite picking up the tech.
And this is her first point, but she already has 4 rebounds.
No free throws down for Carlton. Puerto Rico with a chance here to end it on a good note. Rosado at the buzzer. Doesn't go for her, and that's how we'll end the third quarter. 59-34 after 3, Canada in front.
Haciendo su entrada la familia completa. Fuerte el aplauso para KK Family. Con ustedes es KK Mars. Ahora que las introducciones KK es hermano.
Reminder, you can follow us here on social media at FIBA on all social media platforms. Hashtag AmeriCup Women to join in on a conversation. Jamie Scott, game high 20 points. There is the breakdown. Again, Canada wins the third quarter, 23-12. They come out of the locker room on fire, as you mentioned. That lady right there is filling it up.
You know, they always play a very good first half so far, but those little details that they need to work on, they go to that locker room, and then when they get out, it's there. Their defensive effort was way better. They kept working on their offense, moving the ball. Scott's been huge. They have 18 assists as a team. That's good in any league. They keep insisting with Alexander in the post, as well as with Raincock. And they've just been doing pretty much everything well. In the other hand, Puerto Rico is struggling to score. You know, they have some open shots, but they have not been able to make them, only 25%. And the thing is, this Puerto Rican team enjoys running, enjoys the fast break, but rebounds are 36-21. And in order for you to establish your fast break, you first have to get an easy rebound to start running. So let's see what happened in these last 10 minutes.
Well, the first 5 is going to be important to try and establish the pace that they want to play at here in the quarter. Quinones, Salaman will get things underway here in the fourth period. 10 minutes to play. Canada in front, 59-34. The host nation, Puerto Rico. Canada looking to stay undefeated at 2-0. Melendez with a nice cut. He's fouled by Carlton. Bonner and Salaman had a conversation off camera as we take a look at that replay. It's a good sign, though, for Puerto Rico to pick up, or have Canada pick up their first foul this early in the quarter, try to get them into foul trouble and chip away at this lead at the foul line. They're able to get Canada in the penalty early. Salaman with Langlois on her. 10 to shoot. Rincock-Akunwe, good switch. Salaman with the tough shot over Rincock-Akunwe.
She have 3.
Now picking up full court. Scott using the Alexander screen and then threw it away. She was looking for Carlton. Carlton went a little too far on the cut. Salaman. No look pass. Melendez for three off the glass, in and out. Langlois picks it up. Langlois with Salaman on her down low. Salaman was guarding Alexander rather on the switch. They couldn't get her the ball in time, and it was actually a turnover for Canada. There's that tough shot by Salaman.
Yeah.
Soft turnovers, 8 apiece. Salaman driving again. Another tough layup. And the foul. And a deep breath for Salaman. She's tired.
She had the flu. I don't know why she's playing. Tomorrow probably 10 players will be sick and the refs. She needed to sit down today.
Any chance you get to play for your country, you know that. You wouldn't have missed it with the flu. Stop it.
But if I were playing against her, I wouldn't want to get sick.
Puerto Rico plays the Dominican Republic tomorrow in their third game after this one. Still 8:45 to play to try and get back into this game. Lee Edwards back into the game for Canada. Sammy Hill as well. Hill putting it behind the back. Carlton for three. No good. Salaman tapped it to O'Neal. Struggled from the field so far, but she can get hot in a minute. O'Neal. Step back over AM. Left it short. Another rebound for Kayla Alexander. Rebound number 9 for her. She's one away from another double-double. There she is inside, working over 2 defenders. Kayla Alexander. She's been so impressive on both ends of the floor. There she comes up with a steal. Hill in the front court. Looking for Alexander. Good catch. And a foul is called on Quinones. AM and Alexander weren't able to connect on the high five, but they made sure they did that after the air ball, so to speak, on the high five.
I love how they keep looking for her. A lot of assists from Canada. 3 Carlton, 4 from Hill, 4 from Langlois, 4 for Raincock.
As a team, if you don't have a calculator out at home, that's 19 in total.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
They averaged 27 the first 2 games. Alexander converts on the free throw.
It has a lot to do too with the percentage, of course. They are shooting 46% for field goal, and from the three-point line, they are 5 of 10. 50%, almost perfect from the free throw line. They are shooting 91%.
Ooh. Rosado almost with the backcourt violation there. Canada in his zone. Rosado got poked in the face by Lee Edwards. Inadvertent. Edwards was just having her hands out defensively, and Rosado, just smaller, ran right into her, her palm. It's the 4th foul for Lee Edwards. Who's back into the game. Driving hard. Edwards comes up with the swat. Good block by Lee Edwards. Playing with 4 fouls, still aggressive defensively.
It's very hard to go against her. Very hard.
Moving her feet well, and keeping her hands up. Bid Edwards. Watney checks out of the game, frustrated with herself. King Gaucher will replace Lee Edwards. 4 on the clock for Canada defensively. O'Neal for 2. Can't get it to go. Gibson battling Gaucher for the rebound. He'll stay here. 14 on the shot clock again now for Puerto Rico, as Sammy Hill unable to corral that rebound. O'Neal. Scale Alexander on her. Rosado for 3. Indeed, rattled it home. Points and counting for Rosado.
That's her third 3-point in 6.
Alexander got away with a push off there.
Yeah.
Quinones wanted the foul call and she didn't get it. Alexander now with 19. There's O'Neal, the crossover, probing. Maldonado. Nice spin, but can't get the finish. Kim Gaucher pulls it down the rebound. A foul underneath on Quinones as Alexander was trying to post up. It's a second team foul here in the quarter for Puerto Rico. Third personal foul on Quinones. It's that last play where Alexander pushed off on Quinones. Ruth Hamblin back into the game for Canada. And Alexander will sit. She leaves the game with 19 points, 9 rebounds, and a block. Pass just saved by Gaucher. Good hustle there. Canada with plenty of time to work with. You see the assist totals on your screen there. Hamblin had it ripped out of her hands by Allie Gibson.
They were teammates in college.
They sure were. Oregon State. Gibson stepped out of bounds while she ripped it out of her former teammates' hands. Aim for 3. No good there. Hamblin picks up the foul on Maldonado, and I think that's it for her. It is. 5th and final foul for Maldonado. Roma will replace her.
And 5 in 8 minutes.
Tough night. Here's the replay. She got Hamblin over the arm and a little bit of the face as well. .557 left in the game. Puerto Rico getting into the territory where they have to pay attention to now the plus minus and make sure that they scored enough to keep close here in the quarter. Group A could come down to the plus minus situation. Top 2 teams from both groups make the semifinals. Foul on Carlton. Actually, they say it's on Kim Gaucher. Gaucher's first foul. Sato goes behind the back. No look pass to Gibson for 3. Gaucher pulls down the rebound. Hamblin wants to post up on Pagan. Ruth Hamblin, nice move inside, can't get the finish. Sato pushed the other way. Gibson turns the corner aggressively. Tried to feed a baseline to Roma. She stepped out of bounds, and it will go the other way. Group A is tough. Canada looking to move to 3-0, which will put them in prime position to secure their spot the semifinals, which will be played on Saturday. Hamblin, Carlton work, screen and roll. Hamblin picks up the offensive foul, saying that, hey, she established herself in the semicircle. See the replay here. I don't think that matters on the catch. To be honest.
I don't know what to say.
Regardless, it's a foul on Ruth Hamblin. She picks up her first. Roma, good job taking the charge. Canada in a 2-3 zone, and Canellis knocks in the bank shot.
The backboard, not easy in front of the basket. She had 5.
That's her first 3. So she got her first layup and her first 3 in her first game.
Against Canada.
Against Canada. Hamblin left alone. Uses the up fake. Good defense by Roma, putting her hands straight up, and then Hamblin will pick up the foul. That's Canada's 15th foul, so we'll go to the other end and shoot free throws.
We have a phrase that says, it's not the same with guitar than with violin. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but if it's not the same to make 5 points against Canada, you know what I mean? It's huge. It's huge. And I'm sure she will remember this day.
I got what you mean, by the way.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
You have a phrase like that in English or not?
I'm trying to think of it.
Well, you have like 5 days to tell me, okay? I want to know.
Be together for the rest of the week.
You are my roommate.
Indeed. Pagan goes 1 of 2 from the line. We've already experienced an earthquake together.
2?
Yeah, 2.
And a storm.
And a storm. The roof is still leaking here at the Roberto Clemente Center as it's currently raining outside. You can see at the bottom of your, or top of your screen there, the volunteers keeping the floor dry underneath the Puerto Rico basket. Ali Edwards back into the game with her 4 fouls. Sammy Hill looking to turn the corner. Scott. Skip past to Hill. Hill will take the 3. Good.
Beautiful.
Good pass there by Scott, and Hill was ready to pull the trigger.
You have 6, 2 threes.
Sademan driving in. Can't get it to go, and Hamblin snatches the rebound. Scott pushing. Now looking. Hamblin pulls up for 2.
Nice.
Good job by Ruth Hamblin running the floor, and Scott finds her. Jamie Scott having herself a game, not only scoring, dishing the rock. She has 4 assists now, 7 rebounds as well. Canellis for 3. Hill pulls down the board. Edwards. Hill and Hamblin work the screen and roll. Hamblin rolling beautifully. Hill found her, and Hamblin will be fouled and will go to the line for 2 shots.
You can even tell when Hamblin is in the court. But I have to say, I really like how, how conscious this Canada team is to, look constantly to their big players, knowing that they can dominate that area, It's their first option. Being great shooters.
It's definitely a balanced team. They used their size in the first 2 wins in this tournament, dominating Mexico inside to the tune of 109-53. They defeated Puerto Rico just yesterday, 87-51. Now trying to work on a big win against the hosts. Put themselves in prime position to move into the semifinals. Edwards for 3. Now, you talked about that shooting. It continues now. 30-point lead for Canada. They're pouring it on here with 2:45 to play in the game. Ellis Kuzmanik is in the game. 2-3 zone for Canada. Sademan trying to penetrate. Floats it up. Tried to get it over Hamblin, but maybe rushed the shot. And Sammy Hill will dribble up the court the other way. Hamblin faces up now, will go to work. Is fouled and she'll go back to the line. Ruth Hamblin has been a headache right now for Puerto Rico in the game. Bridget Carlton will check back into the game for Miranda Ann. Dornstadter waiting for her first minutes tonight. She will replace Ruth Hamblin if Hamblin knocks down both free throws. She missed the first. Count that basket. Puerto Rico entered the lane a little quickly there. And there we see Dornstadter now. Everyone played so far for Canada that's been available. Shea Cawley is also on the roster, but she hasn't played at all so far here in Puerto Rico. She's not likely to play in this game. Quinones misses a layup opportunity there. Carlton driving down the lane with the left hand, Bridget Carlton. Under 2 to play. Roma tried to find Quinones. It's going to stay on this side, 15 to shoot for Puerto Rico.
Canada will finally rest tomorrow, right?
They will. They finally have a day off, as the rest of Group A will play. Puerto Rico, who had their rest day yesterday, will play the Dominican Republic here tomorrow night. Kuzmanic knocks down the triple. When she comes in the game, she's there to shoot.
Yes, she's a shooter. That's her main job, to make those threes.
It's her first 3 in the game. Lee Edwards. Skip pass to go inside. Dornstadter will go to work on Roma. She traveled there. Dragging that pivot foot, trying to make her move. Quinn will jog back down the other side of the floor. A 30-point lead. We saw the Dominican Republic earlier today lose a tough game against Cuba. A game that was there for them to win, but lost by 3 points. And as you mentioned in that game, they have never beaten Cuba in any competition. Missed their opportunity here.
Great opportunity.
Have to try and bounce back from that loss. An offensive foul there as Sammy Hill was trying to turn the corner on Saleman. Here's the replay. Hill and Saleman, both fiery competitors, had something to say to each other.
That's right. They are very alike.
A lot of emotion. Here's Saleman. Let's see if that fires up with the last minute to play here. Kuzmanic shows the up fake. Nice pass inside. Roma gets her own. And a foul is on Aaliyah Edwards, and that will be it for her this evening. Aaliyah Edwards will leave the game with 7 points, 1 rebound and a block. She showed signs playing well defensively. Saleman and Sammy Hill still
they keep talking.
Still jawing
the
back and
ref
forth.
Had to come all the way from half court.
Foul shot no good. There's Jerry Batista thinking about the last 55 seconds in this one, and also how he's going to get his team ready to play tomorrow. Roma missed both free throws. Carlton chasing it down. She stepped out of bounds. We'll stay right here with 14 on the clock. Canada will stay back into that zone. Saleman driving inside. She's fouled and she'll go to the line for 2. Boy, she wanted to take that one, didn't she?
Yeah. The president of the federation is sidelined, and it's telling her, just think about you're playing tomorrow. Stop fighting. This is done already.
That's the benefit of being here hosting a tournament. You have support on the sideline trying to keep you in check. Saleman's first free throw was up and good.
2 have 6.
Pressure shown now for Puerto Rico. Carlton looking for help. Threw it away, Salaman. Galloping up the floor. Quinones for three. No good. Dornstadter with a good box out. Now Hill picks it up. 2-second difference between shot and game clock, so Canada will have to take a shot. Coach Tomaitis telling Hill to run a play. Shot clock goes off as Canada took a little too long to get things going offensively there. Let's see if Puerto Rico gets a shot at the rim with 2.8. Quinones will fire from three-quarters court. And that's how we'll end the game. Big win for the Canadians. And continue to win here in Puerto Rico, defeating the host nation 78-50 here in their third game. Jasmine Guadney at the top of your screen. Everybody went out to check out on her. She got hurt and didn't come back into the game. You see the Canadian huddle. Smiles all around for them. Big performance and big win. They are now 3-0 in Group A. What did you like most about their performance?
They have another big game. If you see at the rebounds, 50-29. Again, dominating the boards. They have 18. They have 11. Offensive rebounds. We got to talk about Scott today. She had 20 points, 8 rebounds. She did a little bit of everything. Kyla, once again, 19 and 9. They started making a lot of turnovers, but then at the end of the game, that got better. That was way, way, way better. So, you know, this is a Canadian team. They play very well in both ends of the game, and now they have a record of 3. And now, on the other hand, Puerto Rico have a tough night offensively, very poorly. The percentage, only 31% from the 2-point average, and then from the 3-point line, only 18%. So, you know, you have to score. You can play a lot of defense, but if you can score at the end of the day, you're not going to win.
Canada right on their average for the tournament, 27 assists tonight. Turnovers is something that Lisa Tomaitis is going to circle and say, hey, we got to clean that up going forward. We have one more game to do so. They are off tomorrow, so they'll have the opportunity to look at their first 3 games and try to make adjustments there. Scott, 20 points, as you mentioned, 9 rebounds. Huge game for her. Another double-double for Kayla Alexander. That's her third, or no, she missed it by 1 rebound. By 1 rebound, 19 and 9 for her. Carlton played well, didn't score as much, but defensively she was active.
She always do that, as well as Hill and Ruth Hambling. This is a team with a lot of depth. It's hard because the 5 that comes out of the bench are as good as the 5 starters.
Saw Team USA defeat Colombia to start the day. The Dominican Republic and Cuba played a very close battle where Cuba remained victorious, keep their win streak over the Dominican Republic alive. And Canada to close out the day, defeating Puerto Rico. Canada top of Group A, now at 3-0. It's going to be a battle now for the second spot to move on to the semifinals, which will be played on Saturday. On the other end, Group B, it's Team USA with 4 points, Brazil with 4 points as well. Brazil was off today. We'll see them in action tomorrow. We'll leave you with the highlights of this one. Canada with a big win, 78-50 over Puerto Rico. For Natalia Melendez, I'm Carlin Gay. We will see you tomorrow for 4 more games here in the FIBA Women's AmeriCup in Puerto Rico.